We are networking, all in preparation for our Thursday networking event in person. So we have today's networking event. Tomorrow we have a very interesting conversation. I'm very excited about this. It's all about how it certainly goes in line with networking, but how you ask interesting questions and how basically a question mark can lead to a great conversation. So all of that leading up to Thursday's in-person event called Link in the D. That is open for everyone. We want everyone to join us. It is in person at DTE headquarters in downtown Detroit. And what we want to do there is allow you the opportunity to network with the companies that we're actually working with this summer, but also a lot more. We are in partnership with not only Delta Dental of Michigan, but also with this event, Michigan State University, Engineering Society of Detroit. So all of us are coming together to bring together a large and amazing group of companies for you to network with, not only to practice, but also to meet and see what the jobs and internships they have available. But it all starts today. So we are going to do a couple introductions and then I'm going to hand it over and we are in part 2. So whether you missed part 1 or not, you can pick up because this is 6 through 10 of the 10 commandments of networking. As always, if you have missed any of the videos or any of the sessions, I should say, the videos are live. We are trying to be very timely on those. So those videos of each session go live within a day or two of each session. So if you missed anything, if you missed part 1 of this or any of our other speakers this summer, I encourage you to go check out our website, virtualinternexperience.com, and all of the videos are there available for you to watch. Without further ado, I also want to, I'm going to actually do a couple of things, a couple of introductions, but then whereas I usually do a larger introduction of Delta Dental, I'm going to throw it over to them. But before I do that, I'm going to share their video because it's just so snazzy and I always head bob to it. Join me in head bobbing along. Let's get this going and then I'm going to pass it along. Just happens, folks. Just go with it. Feel the rhythm, feel the beat. Let's get going. Also want to give a quick shout out to Michigan State University students. If you are joining us and looking for that QR code, it will come towards the end of the program. So stay tuned for that. I will have that live and up for you to scan. But before we dive right in and I introduce Joe, I would like to, maybe I'll throw Faith into the hot seat. Faith, can you give us a quick overview of who Delta Dental is? You are our presenting sponsor yet again this summer for our virtual intern experience. Without your support and participation, we would just simply not be here. And so we are so grateful for that. But, and we've had incredible conversations with Goran, your CEO, again, video on the website, and Margaret Trimmer, who is the VP of Strategic Partnerships. Also amazing conversation about mentorship. And they've talked a little bit about Delta Dental, but for everyone's sake this morning, can you give us a little bit about who you are and your commitment to not only talent, but you know, the areas in which you work?
Absolutely. So hi, everyone. My name is Faith Uriel. I am the ISS Information Systems and Services Project Coordinator at Delta Dental. I also am doing some work with our Culture, Communication, and Community Department this summer. And Delta Dental is a dental benefits company. So we're dental insurance. It's what we do. But our mission is to improve oral health through benefit plans, advocacy, and community support. So really, community is our why. And that's why we're involved in programs like this, as well as in a lot of other areas in the community, from investing in minority entrepreneurs through Lightship Capital to partnering with organizations like the Capital Area Humane Society. I really like being part of the company a lot. I feel like there's a lot of ways in which we grow our talent within our walls. Kyle and Kate, feel free to chime in here if there's anything that I left out, but that's sort of Delta Dental in a nutshell to me.
Awesome. And we'll learn more as you guys get into the breakout rooms. A great question. That's a great question. Come up with some questions as you're networking. That's part of it. Networking is a two-way street. So if from that you can gather a question, that's part of it. But I am not the expert here. So I am going to turn it over to who is the expert. Joe Bamberger is coming from Emerge Consulting. He is the managing partner there and has joined us a couple of times, not only in part one of this series, but last week he did the art of the interview. I hope I never have to do an interview in my life, because he gave so many great advice, so much great advice. It's daunting out there, guys. I give it to you. So if you missed that and you are planning to do interviews, I suggest you check out his video, like I said, on the website. That was last week. You can quickly search on the site and find that and watch that. But today he is going to run through commandments 6 through 10. So without further ado, Joe, I'm going to let you take it away, and then you can pass it back to Delta Dental. We'll break out and do some networking.
Awesome. Carrie, thank you for having me as always. Delta Dental, appreciate you guys hosting this and being obviously the presenting sponsors. But for those of you that weren't able to attend week one of these networking commandments, this week we are going through commandments 6 through 10. And obviously with the event coming up this week, hopefully these are some things that you can put into practice. So I'm going to approach this from two different perspectives. One is a traditional networking event, like one you might be attending this Thursday. The other will be from the networking events that naturally happen on campus. So meeting recruiters or professionals at campus events, career fairs, presentations with student clubs and organizations, right? Those are all networking events. So I'm going to approach it from two different perspectives as we go into this. So the commandment number 6 that I want to touch on first is supporting others, right? And so a couple ways to think of this is when you attend networking events, when you attend career fairs, when you attend any sort of campus event, are you bringing friends with you, or are you going alone, right? Those types of situations are always more comfortable when you have friends with you, right? So show up with a friend, right? It'll give you confidence. It'll provide you someone to talk to, right? No one likes to be the quiet person stuck in the corner of a room, right? It's a lot easier to approach groups or approach recruiters or businesses at career fairs if you can do it with someone else. The one caveat to that is if it's a career fair, don't approach to the recruiter with your friend, get in line together, but approach independently, right? It's really awkward for a recruiter if two people are handing resumes at the same time, right? As recruiters, as I'm sure Delta Dental will tell you, like they like to build relationships with the students individually as they meet them at career events. So make sure you're introducing yourself independently, but it is okay to wait in line and approach a table together with someone. Something else to think of is your friends that aren't there. Right? If you meet a company at a career fair or you meet someone at a networking event, you might not have a connection with them. You might not want to work at that company. You might not want to build a relationship with that individual from a business perspective, but I promise you, you know someone who might, right? So take the information you get, right? Listen, even if you're not interested, and share that with someone else. You might have a friend that might be a great fit with that person or a great fit with that company. So make sure you're using that information to help others. Commandment number 7 is when to exchange information, right? So that could be exchanging business cards, that could be exchanging resumes, that could be connecting via LinkedIn, right? Most networking events have, QR codes where you could just share your LinkedIn or connect right there. And so when and where and how is the right way to do that. I can tell you horror stories, of networking events where someone thinks it's their job just to pass out as many business cards as possible, right? Where they're walking around just injecting themselves into conversation, handing business cards over, just with the goal of giving them all out. I promise you that is the first thing that I do after event is I throw those away, right? And so make sure that you are conservative in the way that you hand out business cards or hand out resumes, right? Make sure the person is interested in continuing conversation. If it's a career fair, right, it's a little bit more normal to hand a resume over right when you approach a booth, right? But if it's a networking event, if it's a event where a company's presenting in front of a club or a student organization, right? It might not be appropriate to just shovel your information at them, right? It's sometimes easier to ask them how they want to be contacted, right? So, ask them for a card, ask them to, tell you the best way to get your information to them. Just don't feel like it's your job to constantly hand out your information, right? Be conservative, kind of read the conversation on, hey, what are next steps? Do they want to continue a conversation before giving out that information? So just be conservative in that way. Commandment number 8 is 10 minutes or less, right? And that's even shorter when we're talking career fairs, right? You don't want to monopolize someone's time, right? So be concise, be respectful, understand that, at a career fair, there's probably a line of people behind you. At a networking event, right? They're there to meet other people as well. So don't monopolize their conversation, right? If you're having a really good conversation and you feel like it should continue, that's a good time to exchange contact information, give a card, give a resume. So that way you can continue the conversation. But right, people go to networking events to meet as many people as they can. People go to career fairs to meet as many students as they can, right? So be cognizant of that time, be respectful of that time. We say 10 minutes or less, but at a career type event, right, a couple of minutes, 5 max is really all you need. So don't feel like, right, you need to keep the conversation going, introduce yourself, right? When we gave commandments 1 through 5, we talked about that elevator pitch on who you are, right? Use that, share a little bit more information about yourself, ask a few questions, and then, worried about connecting again later if you want to continue that conversation. Commandment number 9 is comments, what to say, what not to say, right? And it's a pretty, I would hope, obvious list of things to avoid, right? You always want to avoid things that have to do with politics, religion, anything that you'd see on social media that the opposite side of would offend you, right? Assume that everything you're going to say in that regard is going to offend them. So keep that stuff private, right? At a career fair, right, avoid things about asking about pay or benefits or things like that. Those things will come up naturally in the course of an interview conversation. Right? Those are a career event, first time meeting someone, networking event is not the time to have those conversations, right? But really, you want to avoid anything that someone would feel very strongly about, right? And I know that right now that could be a very long list, right? But develop your small talk, right? Talk about things that are relevant to the event you're at, right? If it's the networking event that's coming up this Thursday, right? Talk about how, their experiences has been at their internship. Talk about the type of work they're doing. Talk about, what they do in their free time or fun, or what the companies do for fun, right? It's not a time to get into any sort of argument that can stem from talking about things like politics, religion, things like that. So I know there are lots of things that happen in conversations with friends around things that happen, politically, and things with religion, especially right now. But at networking events, at career events, these are things that you don't want to bring up, right? Keep things soft, keep things casual, right? You don't want to create a fight, and right, understand that best case scenario, half the world disagrees with you with whatever you feel or believe. And right now people are feeling those feelings pretty strongly. So it's best to avoid those types of conversations. If someone else brings those types of things up, right, don't engage, right? Try to, change the topic, try to change the conversation or leave the conversation entirely, right? You don't want to alienate half the people in the room. And then lastly, our 10th commandment, right? And I think the most important part of networking is what you do afterwards, right? Do you follow up, right? If you're exchanging business cards with someone, right? Are you sending a, hey, nice to meet you email? Are you referencing something you talked about? Are you following up with, more information, scheduling a time to talk again, right? It's important to follow up. What you don't want to do is you don't want to be the person that gets in the parking lot and immediately adds everyone on LinkedIn, right? That kind of shows like you're just looking to check boxes. It doesn't look like you're trying to genuinely create connection and follow up. So when you follow up with someone, a simple email is fine. A simple, hey, it was great to meet you. I loved talking about X, Y, or Z. If you talked about something specific and it makes sense to send them an article or some more information, or maybe this is the appropriate time to send your full resume, right? That's an appropriate thing to do. If you're going to connect with someone on LinkedIn, don't just hit connect and wait for them to accept, right? LinkedIn allows you the ability to write, I think it's like a 250 character personal message, right? Use it as a way to kind of say, hey, nice to meet you at whatever event. We talked about whatever, would love to connect, right? Don't just send the please connect with me generic response, right? Make it personal, right? Odds are they met a ton of people, right? And reference something you talked about so they remember who you are, right? So again, just to kind of reiterate, the bottom half of the 10 commandments, right? Support others, make sure you're bringing friends and thinking of friends. Make sure you're cognizant of when and how to exchange information. Be respectful of the other people's time, right? 5 to 10 minutes max. Avoid sensitive conversation topics and make sure you follow up with after. So if I'm going to give you a little assignment or project to work on as you break into your individual groups, I would ask the Delta Dental person on the other line how they like to be followed up with, right? And that is a perfect way for you, after you connect with them, to follow up with them later. So they could be, they like maybe being connected on LinkedIn, maybe they like receiving an email, maybe they get thousands of emails and they don't want to receive any. And so LinkedIn makes more sense, right? So find out what they like, find out what works best in their world, and then utilize that as you go through other networking events in the future. So appreciate you taking the time today. If you're interested in the first 5 commandments, if you are not able to make that session, feel free to check out the video on the Virtual Intern Experience website. Otherwise, I'll let Delta Dental take over and wish you guys best of luck in your breakout rooms and in the networking events on Thursday and through the rest of your internship this summer. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. That was awesome. And again, perfect timing. We can put it into practice. Now the portion of putting it into practice virtually is going to start. And then, as he said, later on, we will, on Thursday, put it into practice in person. So from there, I'm going to let Delta Dental take it over. We're going to break out into rooms and you guys will have the opportunity to actually network virtually and practice the commandments you just learned, as well as some of the other ones from a couple weeks ago. So as we let people trickle in, I will also share my screen with the QR code that is necessary for the Michigan State students. And just real quick, just to run down again as we close out today, I want to remind you that tomorrow we have our final virtual session of the 2022 summer, which is very exciting. And that will be a great conversation. I'm really excited about it. It's a very unique topic in that, basically utilizing your questions and how to come up with good questions and for networking and having conversations, etc. So that is tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Will be very helpful in preparation for our in-person networking event on Thursday. I hope everyone will join us there. That is from 5 to 7 p.m. It is at DTE Energy's headquarters in downtown Detroit. And it's free. We will have free food for everyone as well. Always a nice draw. And we will have the ability to network with several different companies and their representatives. So great opportunity, again, to put into practice the networking that you've been building all summer long in an in-person experience. So we'll have that on Thursday, 5 to 7. I do want to remind everyone, you must register for that event. DT has their security measures that they take. So everyone needs to be registered so that they are on the list in time for the program. So let me stop this, stop share. So yeah, I hope that we will again send out a reminder regarding that program or that event. You will also get details for where to park, where what's included, anything, what to wear, any details like that that is necessary. You will receive those details as you register as well. Parking is free, everything's free. We just want to make it as easy and as accessible to you as possible to join us on Thursday. And with that, that concludes our summer. So 2 sessions left, 1 virtual, 1 in person, and we hope to see you at both. Tomorrow will be at 11 o'clock, Thursday, 5 to 7. And I saw a few chats. Oh, Jen, you had a few questions in your, do you want to jump on? Okay.
Sure. Couple students in my group were wondering, number one, how long will these recorded sessions be up on your website so that they can reference?
That's a good question. They will be up indefinitely. And we have a YouTube channel. So you can even find the videos from last summer. If you go all the way down to the bottom of the Virtual Intern Experience.com website, you will find 2021 program button, and you can click that and you can see all the videos from last year even as well. But we do have a YouTube channel. So whenever you click on the watch video button, you will be taken to our YouTube channel and you can see everything that's we've done to date. So indefinitely, but we hope you check those out. I see another one. Can they bring friends, guests to the networking event this week? That's a good question. Yes, I believe so. We are doing this in conjunction with Michigan State and Engineering Society of Detroit. So I would say if you have folks that want to join, register. I know they have limited space. It's a big limited space, but nonetheless, I think it's several hundreds of people, but nonetheless, if you would like space, then absolutely register in the link that is provided and we can maybe even throw that into, give me a minute. Let's, unless, hold on, wait a minute. Okay, here is the link going into the chat for Thursday's networking event. Here's where you register. So register there. And you know, if registration allows, you can, for this event, bring those that are interested in attending. Should we bring resumes? And if so, how many is a good number? Do we have, thinking, Rachel, are you still on today? I think she might have signed off. Okay. So like I said, we are doing this in conjunction with Michigan State and Engineering Society of Detroit. They have done this in the past, and what I have heard is that they are encouraging you not to bring your resume, and that it's very, it's meant to be more conversational, and then, you know, follow up and then send your resume. So that is a good question. I will get back to you and make sure that when you register, you will receive all of these details. They will be coming from Engineering Society of Detroit. They have all of those details that will be sent to you regarding resumes, what to wear, what to expect, where to park, time and everything. So I would assume that information is to come But I believe that they are encouraging you not to bring resumes and make it a little less formal. Like the companies will not have like a formal table. It's meant to be very conversational, walking around at high tops and really meeting these representatives. And then from there, taking it to the next level of connecting further with your resume. So that is my understanding. Register and you will get further details. Some of the earlier sessions are missing watch links on the website. Are they on? Not all sessions. Some of our speakers have requested that their session not be recorded. So we have to comply with their regulations through their companies or their personal requests. So if it is missing a link, it is because they have requested or they're, it was an maybe especially like with something like this, the breakout, it's hard when the breakout rooms happen to record those. So if it is missing a link, there is a reason. Otherwise, I would say the vast majority of them have links and they are live right now. Cool. Any other questions? Love it. Bring the questions. Okay. Well, if you have more questions, I'm the easiest person to find. Just respond to any of the emails you get, and happy to answer those. Thank you again for joining us today. Hopefully everyone gained something from learning about these 10 commandments of networking. We're able to put them in practice virtually today. We'll learn a little bit more tomorrow at 11 a.m. with Stephanie Murphy, and then on Thursday in person. So thanks everyone. Have a great week. Thank you again to the Delta Dental of Michigan team for hosting today. They did all the heavy lifting and hard work, and I always appreciate that. So thanks again, everyone.